Again, we have here a limited, well, two limits, one when x goes to plus infinity and x goes to minus infinity. But we have to be very careful now, because the leading term in the denominator depends, or is different when x goes to plus infinity and to minus infinity. The reason is this. Let me just, before splitting this in two limits, handle both equally, just factoring out the leading term in both numerator and the denominator. The leading term of the numerator is just x, right? It's the term that diverges. So you multiply this by this, right? And now this limit is simple because this goes to 0, and so this bracket goes to 1. The denominator is slightly different because, well, we can factor out, well, let me do it separately. We can factor out x squared in the denominator, so we can write this as this, okay? And now we can separate this into the square root of x squared and the square root of 4 plus 1 over x squared. This is not problematic because this goes to 0, so this is the square root of 4, which is 2. But the question is, what is this? And this depends on the sign of x. If x is positive, well, this is always going to be positive, regardless of the sign of x. So actually, the square root of x squared is the absolute value of x. So the denominator factors this way, plus 1 over x squared. So what you have is this, right? Plus 4 plus 1 over x squared. Now if you take the limits of this is the limit of, well, this limit is 1, this limit is, as I said, square root of 4, which is 2. So this is 1/2 the limit x divided by x when x goes to plus or minus infinity. And now this limit is different depending on which limit are we taking. So if we're calculating the limit of this expression when x goes to plus infinity, then the absolute value becomes just the number, right? Because this x is positive and this is just 1, so this limit is 1/2. But if we are calculating the limit when x goes to minus infinity of this expression, then x is negative, but absolute value of x is positive, so this is just -1, so the limit is minus 1/2. So the sign of the limit is in absolute value 1/2 in both cases, but the limit depends, the sign depends on whether we're taking the limit to plus infinity or to minus infinity.